Hey guys, today we're driving the 2023 Jaguar F-Type R Coupe. We have a 5-liter supercharged V8, makes 575 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. This is all-wheel drive. We have an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, a few different drive modes. We're on winter tires today. Let's walk you around this Jag F-Type R Coupe. We'll show you what it looks like inside and out. We've driven a few of these this year, but all convertible. So this is my first time in the Coupe. A little bit stiffer, a little bit lighter, and should have some very nice performance out today. We're just gonna take this for a Sunday morning drive. Starting price on this is about $110,000, just shy of, with destination. As tested with the SVO special brown paint, this is $121,000. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous car with beautiful proportions, very nice, luxurious materials, and a ton of performance. It's also one of the few cars left on sale today that will kind of scare you sometimes when you're driving it, and that makes it exciting and a bit of a rare breed. I've got to say, in coupe form, I'm really liking pretty much every angle of this F-Type. It looks really, really good, and this paint is absolutely gorgeous. Salto 03 Pirelli tires, 295/30 R20s in the rear, 255/35 R20s in the front. Let's take a look at trunk space. Automatic lifting tailgate there. Quite a bit of room to put stuff on the back of this Jag. There's even a bit more space underneath this panel. You can almost leave that out if you wanted to most of the time. I think today we'll hide our snow scraper down there. I was really hoping that it would snow this week so we could test this out in the slippery stuff with the all-wheel drive system and on a set of winter tires, but I didn't really have much luck on our side in this area of Michigan. So we're just going to take this out, see what it can do in the dry. It'll be a little bit better for performance, but this Jag F-Type is actually equipped with the Climate Package, which has a heated windshield. Probably can't see it with the GoPro, but there are little heating elements in the windshield, very similar to a lot of other Jaguar and Land Rovers that will defrost that windscreen pretty much immediately, which is very cool. A very year-round friendly sports car with the all-wheel drive and winter tire sizing availability. Oh, we have to pop the hood and take a look at this 5-liter supercharged V8. Rated for 16 miles to the gallon in the city, 24 on the highway for an 18 mpg combined rating. We took the convertible on a road trip and averaged about 25 miles to the gallon on the highway. Make sure both sides close here. Yeah. Really fun car. One of my favorites to get into. I always miss them a little bit when they have to go and get picked up. It's been a pleasure to drive this R Coupe this week. Pretty simple Jaguar infotainment system. We've got Apple CarPlay, all wired. Screen's a little bit low contrast, if I'm being honest. The viewing angle isn't the best, but it gets the job done. You may have noticed that when we started up the car, these 2 vents rose out of the dash. Those will only be present if you've got the air blowing at your face. Otherwise, the car will look like this. Down here, we've got our control for our exhaust valve. There's quiet. There's loud. It's kind of loud the whole time, but around just casual driving in the city, it's actually really silent, which is nice. Button here to turn on and off auto stop start, raise the rear spoiler, turn off traction control. We have 3 drive modes: dynamic, normal, and rain, ice, snow mode, which kind of acts like an eco mode. We'll start in dynamic. And then we have 2 transmission modes, drive and sport. Here's what our reverse camera looks like. Not too bad. No 360 cam, but we do get forward parking sensors and a pretty high-res reverse camera. Turn our heat back on here. Nice looking glove box. See the Monroney here. 121,685 with options. This has the blind spot assist package and the climate package, which includes the heated windshield, heated steering wheel, and 2-zone climate control. Definitely a worthy option if you're going to drive your Jag in the winter, like I would recommend you do. We've got our seat controls over here to the left, along with 3 memory seat settings. Nice blacked out door handles, Meridian surround sound system, a physical gauge dimmer switch, which I always love for night driving, a button to pop the tailgate, turn on and off lane keep assist. A pretty straightforward, simple, easy to use interior. That's why I love these F-Types so much. They're just so easy to live with, and they are really, really fun and luxurious to drive on a daily basis. All right, let's head out and see what this is like on the road. Steering weight's up just a little bit more in dynamic mode. And the exhaust makes some fun sounds too. This is one of those cars that just kind of makes you feel like a badass. I feel like a villain driving this thing around. It's the color, it's the interior, it's the driving position, it's the way it looks back at you when you park it and walk away. It's just menacing. And it sounds the part, it looks the part, it kind of checks all those boxes. Paddle shifters behind the wheel to control that 8-speed auto. Great transmission. See the spoiler rise up there. Give us a little bit extra downforce in the rear. You can see that Jaguar badge in that rear view mirror. This new F-Type is a little bit more toned down than it was when it first came out. Not as many pops and burbles from the exhaust. It's a bit more refined, a bit more grown up, and I really like its personality. The exhaust sounds amazing when you get on it, but the rest of the time, it's pretty livable, pretty quiet. Even with the valve open, it just kind of rumbles away in the distance. There's not a lot of wind noise. NVH is pretty good in this F-Type. We've got cruise control and a speed limiter. Turn our heated steering wheel back on. No adaptive system, though we do have lane keeping assist. Pretty comfortable cruiser on the highway. Steering feels great. It is a fast rack, so you do have to be kind of careful about your inputs. That ratio really lets this car turn in very quickly with minimal steering input. I have excellent visibility, front, sides, and rear through that rear view mirror. Put us back into dynamic mode here. A couple different gauge cluster modes too. You can opt for 2 gauges, a single gauge in the middle with either the media or the map on the right or your trip information on the left, or you can opt for a full map display. A lot of configurability with this digital setup. drove one of these, well, it was a convertible, all the way around Michigan. We did a lap around the mitten, and I think it was my favorite car of the bunch, at least the most entertaining. If I had around $100,000 to spend on a sports coupe or convertible, I would be between this and the Lexus LC500. If you wanted more performance, go for this. The only area where it falls a little bit short is in the braking department. These brakes just don't hold up well to hard driving. You'd probably want a little bit more of an aggressive pad compound. But for most people's driving habits, they should hold up just fine. It's just that if you're going to be doing track work or really hammering this on a back road, you'll want a little bit more. Handling here seems a bit more buttoned down too than the convertible. Stiffer chassis helps with that. I will say it's not as frightening to drive as the convertible was. The convertible had a tendency to catch you out a little bit under some higher speed corners. Off throttle, you would lift, it would oversteer. On throttle, you had a bit more oversteer. If you really hit it out of a corner, especially a tight 90-degree hairpin. This is more buttoned down. It's more predictable. Even on these winter tires with less grip, I'm finding this a much easier car to drive at the limit. Maybe not as scary as I thought it was. Down here with these climate controls, if you press the button in, you can control your heated and ventilated seats, which is very nice. Push it again, and you can control your temperature. And of course, you can push the center button to turn on and turn off your whole system. I like doing that just occasionally, so that I can watch the center vents rise out of the dashboard. Suspension's a little bit firmer than the convertible, and I think that's probably the bigger difference here, is that they've tuned this coupe just to be a little bit tighter, a little bit stiffer, a little bit firmer, and some of that plays into the chassis stiffness as well, but it's a bit easier of a car to drive, not as sloppy around a corner, I guess, a bit more predictable, and I think that's probably a good thing for most people. I'm noticing a bit more safe understeer at the limit as well. In dynamic mode, you get some very aggressive shifts at redline. Let's see what that's like in normal mode. That should tone things down just a bit. Actually, I think it depends all on your transmission setting. So if you're just in drive, your shifts won't be as aggressive, which is kind of nice. All right, quick braking test, and we've got to do a launch. 60 should happen about 3.5 seconds. There you go. Blistering performance. little wiggle from the rear end back there, but still very planted compared to the convertible. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick sound system test. Nice strong bass, not as clear as some other options at this price point, but still not a bad sound system overall, especially for something that's in a sports car. All right, so how can we sum up the Jag F-Type R Coupe? Overall, a really nice car to spend time with. I had a lot of fun on this thing this week. Put some winter tires on it, and it, I'm sure, is going to be very capable in the snow. You're probably limited a little bit with ground clearance, but the all-wheel drive system and that nice front bumper should plow through just about whatever you need to. A really fun sports car to live with. The all-wheel drive system doesn't suck away all the fun. It still keeps it engaging, a little bit tail-happy. I think it gives you added security and added usability of this year-round. The switchgear, the user interface of this Jag is really very nice to live with. Some funky things you have to get used to in the center display with changing trip, but once you get everything set up, it's all very intuitive. These seats are comfortable. They don't look that impressive except for up here, but they actually do keep you pretty well bolstered in the car. There are enough storage places to put things. You've got a center little area to put your phone right there, some cup holders, door pockets, and I think that's about it. And then, of course, in the back, behind these seats, is a pretty good trunk area. I love the way this F-Type looks. It sounds amazing, and I think it just kind of checks a lot of those sports car boxes. And you don't see a lot of these either. It's not your standard issue 911 or BMW M3. It's a little bit more special, a little bit more unique, and I think a bit underappreciated too. Also, these F-Types have been around for so long, we've kind of ironed out all the issues with them. Haven't heard of too many reliability woes or concerns with these cars. They seem to be pretty well sorted at this point. And yeah, I wouldn't have too many hesitations about buying one of these someday as just kind of a fun vehicle to cruise around in. I'd probably swing for the convertible just for that added enjoyment factor with the top down and the exhaust. But this Coupe is a very, very nice car, and I think it's probably the best looking version too, just because of that sloping roof. So anyway, guys, those are some thoughts on the F-Type R. Hopefully we can get this back someday when we get some more snow. I would love to test this in more winter-like conditions. Today we've got pretty much dry pavement. So anyway, until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.